during the past 6 months and almost over a year, we're doing the verification of customers' identity, age, extraction of data from the identity documents, AML, PEPs, and sanctions check. And today's webinar will focus on a few aspects of COVID-19, and we'll talk about the following topics, which are coronavirus impact by major sector and dimension, the increase of frauds during the COVID-19, the onboarding issues as well, digital preparedness of different companies, how the consumer behavior is changing during these times. And by the end of the webinar, we will talk about the cost-effective solutions for the onboarding and a few words about the contactless technologies as well. By the end of this session, we'll have a live Q&A. You will be able to ask any questions that you want to. We do have here a chat box where you can type your questions. So let's start. And basically, we'll start from the recent statistics. As you can see, this particular graph shows it's a visual representation on how certain regions or countries have been hit by coronavirus. And you see that on the top of this list, there are top-tier countries as well as the countries with the population about 10 million people. They're on the top of this ranking. So it's the USA, India, Brazil, Russia, Colombia, Argentina, Spain, Peru, and many, many more. And basically, this shows the fragility of different economies during the past 6 months and up to 1 year. And we basically, from the Shufti Pro side, we see that the traditional onboarding methods are no longer suitable, unfortunately, and since people around the world are frustrated and stuck on their homes, and basically the only way how they can onboard themselves or proceed with the identity verification is an online method only. And we see that coronavirus is rising and falling in the various countries, and probably all countries around the world are feeling this second wave of coronavirus. And I believe that in 2021 we will have a better situation, but for now we have this one. So since the pandemic has hit the world, we see that everything has changed, even the on-site verification and traditional onboarding also have changed because of risk of spreading the virus and the adverse effects of this novel coronavirus cannot be unveiled individually, but also collectively. And as we can see in the recent McKinsey European economy report, it shows that today's economies are shrinking by 11%, which are not expected to recover anytime soon. And not only this, but also this report shows and forecasts the closure of 43% of businesses globally, which is a really significant amount. And this virus has impacted every business, but mainly small and medium-sized companies and businesses, start companies that are not able to adjust to the current situation or to find some further funding. So now, as the impact of COVID-19 is quite obvious, let's also talk about the increase of chargebacks and frauds. There have been several reports floating out there with claims that it recently increased up to 23% of chargebacks in the first quarter of 2020. And when it comes to, for example, the United Kingdom, the consumers have lost about 1 million US dollars to fake products, counterfeit scams related to virus relief, and many other stuff. And not only the United Kingdom, but also the United States, people have lost about 106 million US dollars under the umbrella of ID frauds during the novel coronavirus. So since the vaccine hasn't been released yet, but we're hoping for that. Everyone are waiting for it. Basically, businesses needs to rapidly change their methods for customers onboarding, for identity verifications, and at the moment, the major issues with the frauds is identity-related fraud and account takeovers as well. Um, let's talk about also the outbreak of COVID-19, as we can see on this particular graph. It's showing how different sectors and businesses and industries have been hit worldwide. And as we can see, the most impacted industries are manufacturing and travel and transportation. Both sectors are said to be severely impacted by coronavirus pandemic, and um, the impact on this particular table is ranked on a 5-point scale from 1, which is minor impact, to 5, which is a severe impact. And if you will look closely, every industry has been hit the same by the severity when it comes to revenue sector. So we can also see that alongside the manufacturing and travel and transportation, there is a retail sector, uh, energy and resources, high tech, telecommunication, healthcare, many other nonprofits, media, entertainment. So a lot of sectors has been hit, unfortunately. And just to give you a bit more insights and more details when it comes to, for example, the financial sector, the majority of those companies currently gone online because recently we the different reports shows 33% of ID frauds, which is costing about 16.7 million to financial institutions globally due to COVID-19 situation. Also, the banks are moving towards the modern technologies when it comes to biometric and facial recognition to reduce the number of identity frauds. And at the moment, it's about 52% of the banks that are located in Asia, and Asia is the region that have been hit worse by the pandemic. Those banks are already implemented the biometric and digital onboarding technologies. And now, since we're talking about the cons of the situation, let's also cover gaming sector. Gaming and gambling, and those sectors are exponentially growing to 4.5 billion US dollars annually. And let's say that the identity verification processes in these sectors have been implemented and regulated before the pandemic, but during the past few months, a lot of iGaming operators are trying to automate their processes as much as they can by applying a different real-time customer verification system, facial verification systems, and so on, such as a Shufti Pro. So these are the basic trends, and now we can also cover a few other trends related to COVID-19, as we all felt the inability to go offline. Such platforms like Zoom or WebEx, they are owing to the promotion of the remote work. The same trend, I believe it will remain at least for 3 to 6 months period, probably even further. So Let's see how it goes for everyone. Um, and now, probably let's talk about the forecasts. And according to the, as you can see on the table, according to the latest World Economic Outlook report, the figure shows that the economic growth situation before the pandemic and the situation during 2021 are really different. And basically, in this table, you might notice that the worsening of the economic situation in 2020, it goes through different countries around the globe, such as the United States, Europe, Germany, France, Japan, United Kingdom. It also covers Asia, Latin America, Africa, and other also includes other low-income developing countries. So no matter where, but the virus have been hit all these countries worldwide. And as we will, if we will return to the previous slide, we will see the projection for every country, and we see that probably after 2020, during the 2021, each and every country will be able to achieve this, at least the same economic situation that it was before the pandemic. And even some countries like the United States or Germany or France or the UK or China, India, and others will be able to grow their economies by 3 times comparing to 2019 and 2020, just because the pandemic situation is also stimulates the growth of different businesses that can cover different aspects and help different businesses to strive during this period. So we can also see, alongside these changes, we can also see the changes in the consumer behavior. And this graph basically shows the online traffic trends during the COVID-19. We see that, for example, the supermarket traffic is exponentially growing during these times. We also see that the sports and entertainment businesses, as well as retail tech and luxury sectors, are growing. And other ones like media or tourism have been hit the worst. And we need to understand that actually the internet usage has increased, and the online frauds now wouldn't be limited just to hacking or to account takeover. So at the moment, the major trends are the rise of account origination, fraud. We also see the issues with the inability to verify real customers versus fraudsters, and we see the increase of cyber attacks by 238%, basically against the banks, because actually the traditional banking is not possible at this time, and almost every bank is trying to digitalize and transform their processes into more digital way. So if we will talk about the main challenge for all this situation is to curb the chargebacks and onboard real customers safely and seamlessly. And the good thing is that we have a common solution. It's a secure digital solution that can facilitate a customer onboarding process, like Shufti Pro, for example. Um, and so now, since we have established the main problem with the onboarding and digital identification, we should also talk about the solutions as well. Um, you might notice that the biggest and the common issue of the traditional onboarding is the fact that it really requires a person to be present offline for the identity verification, which in today's time is impossible. So For this, actually, we're offering a fully automated self-onboarding solution, which can be accessed online by the end users, and it really can help businesses with building safe and quick customer onboarding and verification processes. Another issue is the traditional onboarding is the fact that manual verification is time consuming, and many businesses, not only banks but other businesses, are still using manual verification teams to verify customers. And basically, the since all the businesses are going online, it's really necessary to minimize the number of manual verifications and the human work itself. For this, actually, Shufti Pro is offering a hybrid of AI and machine learning, which can reduce the verification time and the need itself in the manual verification. If we will also talk about the drop off during the onboarding, when using especially when you're using the manual process, the drop off rate is visibly higher. So it's important to get your onboarding techniques right and running. And only viable solution is getting the technology that can not only can be cost effective, but also contactless and really easy to integrate with. And that's basically and exactly that we can help with. Let's move on. Now let's talk about the digital preparedness within the different industries. And now, since we have diagnosed the issues with the onboarding, let's also see today's digitalization and automation preparedness in various businesses. Actually, in general, all the businesses are slowly moving towards the digitalization. And now, as you can see, it's about 25% of organizations already use automations, different automation tools to streamline their businesses. And about 72% of the executives currently believes that it's really necessary to enhance the operations and reduce the operating costs as well. So probably it's a common issue for everyone. And surprisingly enough, 37% are of the companies have supported the automation of the onboarding process of their customers. So if we're talking about the contactless technologies, since we're also, as I already said, we're moving towards the overall digitalization and passwordless technologies, we need to realize that the touchless verification will be an integral part of our life now. And by utilizing the liveness check and facial verification, businesses may not only mitigate fraud itself, but also enhance the security, mitigate the spread of virus as well. And now during the COVID-19, if we're talking about, let's say, online healthcare industry, is growing a massive 40 billion US dollars in Europe, and the need for effective know your patient system is now really felt and really needed. Another example is American Hospital Association. They have reported that the online visits are doubled from 35 to 76%. So not only now and more than ever, digital onboarding is something not only in healthcare but in other industries are in a real need. And touchless technologies and passwordless technologies are really needed for every business around the world. So probably now let's talk about the financial aspect of the COVID situation. If we will look into the latest reports, actually we will see that the financial institutions are spending more than 500 million US dollars per year for manual KYC, for customer due diligence. And actually, the automated KYC means there is no in-house resources needed to perform the ID verification or background AML checks. So it's all absolutely, it's always a space for human intervention, but in order to minimize costs, uh, if businesses should perform and integrate more cost-effective remote verification and online and automated verifications such as KYC, identity verification, AML compliances, and so on. And basically, Shufti Pro steps in and helping all the companies with the automation of those processes in a most cost-effective way. And at the end, with the Shafty Pro solution, you can reduce costs up to 70% in the user for the user onboarding costs, and we can also reduce the overall turnaround time by 85%. So not only cost effective, but the verification itself is very, very quick. Uh, Actually, just a small note for startup businesses and for small and medium enterprise businesses, for those actually we're offering flexible integration and pricing options like pay as you go. We're always ready to create a dedicated proposal for any other business type or business size as well. So as for now, Shafty Pro is providing. Let's sum up the overall situation and the Shafty Pro solution. So we're at the moment providing reliable tools for remote customer onboarding, for facial verification, document verification, quick AML, PEP sanctions, and adverse media background checks, as well as two-factor authentication, as well as fully automated text extraction with the OCR that includes not only the support of non-Latin characters, but the languages like Chinese or Arabic or with the Cyrillic characters. So actually it can help businesses to onboard customers in a more easier way. So if you can have, for example, customers in China and you want to extract all the information automatically, like a full name, date of birth, issue date, document number, then you can fully rely on Shafty Pro for this. And actually we can help you with the full data extraction, not only from the identity documents like ID card, passport, travel license, and so on, but also from the proof of address documents like utility bills, bank statements, tax bills, rent agreements, insurance agreements, and so on. And recently, we also have implemented a new technology called video KYC services that are fully compliant with BaFin and other regulations around the globe. So actually, we can automate the process of online onboarding by interviewing the end users. So it was just a quick overview of the latest trends for the customer onboarding and actually how Shafty Pro can help different businesses with different onboarding issues. So probably now let's start with the quick Q&A session. You can use the chat box here to type your messages and type your questions in this window, and actually I'll be really happy to answer those. Okay, so I'm waiting for your questions and we'll be happy to answer. I see already just one question here. Okay, so the question from Catherine. As we have been living with the pandemic for over a year now, how do you think that your solution will be even viable after the vaccination, as people will always go back to the original habits? Um, Catherine, thank you for a question. And actually, the answer is quite obvious because, of course, people will return to their original habits, but we're living in a pandemic world, and still the situation isn't good, at least now, and the forecasts are showing that uh, actually, at least till the until the end of the first quarter of 2021, we will still have the same situation. And actually, different businesses are in the digital transformation process, which is not happening really fast. It can basically take not even 1 month, it can take 6 months or even a year to implement all the needed functionalities to make the digital onboarding more seamless and more user friendly. So I believe that even after the pandemic situation, we will still have some kind of, let's say, hybrid of AI, ML for digital onboarding, and the traditional offline onboarding as well. That's basically my personal opinion, but I believe you will agree with this. Okay, so we have, let's see, another question. Okay, so thanks for the overview. How do you compare Shufti Pro with other ID verification solutions that are on the marketplace? Okay, Shaftis Pro, competitive advantage, and so on. So thank you, Chris. And basically, if you're interested in getting more information about the product comparison, if you have some basic, questions about some particular competitors, actually, you can outreach us via this email, victor.joshua@shaftipro.com, or you can email directly to me at christina@shaftipro.com, and we can have a talk. Or you can also type your email address here in the chat box, and I'll be really happy to answer those questions individually. Okay, so another question, how does your solution help people who are not in conventional onboarding and offer services other than insurance and banking? Uh, yeah, I would like to say that our solution is working not only with insurance or banking sector. Actually, we're also working with crowdfunding. We're working with financial services, gaming, gambling, telecom, P2P, healthcare, crypto, blockchain, retail, and many, many more. So actually every almost every business that are using a digital onboarding or identity verification tool is really in need of services like Shufti Pro. Another question, let me know if the solution is GDPR compliant. Yes, actually, we have the Quality Guild certificate that shows our full compliance with the GDPR. And actually, at the moment, if you will be integrating our solution through the API, we're offering an option for full data deletion from our service servers automatically. So you just need to send us the API request for data deletion. It can even happen immediately once the identity verification process is done. So in our case, we're just the data processors, and before initiating the real-time verification process, we're also asking our customers to give their consent. And those consent messages alongside with the guidelines we can display in various languages. So it's 150 plus languages. So we can show the consent message in English, in Arabic, in French, in Japanese, so whatever. So it really helps people to understand why they should need to give us their consent. If you need to receive the GDPR compliance certificate, then you can also leave your email address and I'll send back this information to you alongside with the certificate as well. Okay, so how Shufti Pro actually work? So it's a fully automated process. You can integrate our solution you're using the different methods. It could be API, it could be iframe, it could be SDK for iOS and Android. We can also offer you a hosted verification page. So it means that we can develop a web page based on your requirements, with your branding, with your colors, with your brand book guidelines for text and so on, and other requirements for the KYC flow. So we can, for example, build some questionnaire and then ask customer to proceed with the identity verification. And basically this hosted verification page, its URL could be either inserted on your website, or we can send it to you in an email, and you can also send this link via email to your customers. Let's move on to the next question. How do you check the POA, the proof of address? So the system itself is the hybrid of AI, machine learning, and human intelligence. And actually, we have different document templates globally for various proof of address documents, like utility bills or like bank statements. And actually, we confirm the accuracy of format, then we confirm that the address is present on this document, and then we can extract full address from the document alongside with the issue date and with the name on the address document. And basically, if you will combine both, let's say, document verification plus proof of address, then we can also match the name on the identity document with the name on the proof of address document. And then basically how it works. We do not cross-check the address against some government databases or anything like that. So it's the basic confirmation of the overall format of the document and then the data extraction. The next question, how does Shufti Pro check ID document authenticity? Actually, it's also the same technologies like AI plus ML. So we use the optical illusion to confirm the forgery. So we see even small changes, pixel by pixel changes. So if your customer will try to manipulate with a first name or with the date of birth or with the issue date, or will try to insert some face picture on the identity document, then we will be able to confirm this forgery. And we also check different security features on the documents, like hologram or color reflection or micro printing and so on, the placement of chip and et cetera, et cetera. And again, we're not cross-checking the document number or any other information through the different databases. We're just confirming the authenticity of the document by means of our artificial intelligence and machine learning as well. The next question, how much time does the verification take on average? It depends on what services you will integrate. If we're talking about the basic face and document verification, so a document verification usually takes between 10 to 20 seconds, and a facial verification, on this step, we're comparing the real-time selfie on the document with the face that is taken on the online verification by means of web camera on the user's mobile phone or on the PC, and the face verification usually takes even less, about 10 to 5 to 10 seconds in average. The whole process, if it would be on-site verification, a real-time verification, it depends how you will combine all the services. So what would be the first step, what would be the second step, and so on and so forth, because you can combine not only face and document, you can also combine those with the proof of address verification, you can combine this with PEPs and sanctions check, you can combine this with biometrical consent verification, two-factor authentication, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so if you want to know more about our services and how you can integrate this, actually you can type an email, write an email to Victor via this email on the screen, and we will provide you with more details on our solution. Okay, so any other questions? Maybe I have missed something. Okay, we plan to use KYC for our customers to buy tickets for events. What is the options to confirm that person attending and at the event is the same person that did the KYC process? Yeah, so actually, it's a facial verification process, and actually during the KYC, if you are using your customers to provide not only the identity document but also to provide his face in front of camera in order to perform a liveness check, in order to perform a biometric matching of face on the document with the real-time selfie, then it can really help you to mitigate different fraud cases. Because during the KYC process, we can mitigate different fraud issues like forged document or forged like synthetic identities or something like that. So it would be really good if you will implement both document and face verification during the KYC, so you will confirm that the name on the event ticket is the same that on the identity document, and then you can also see the face on the document with the real-time selfie in order to confirm that the person is real, and in order to confirm that this is the same person that is on the documents. Okay, so a next question. What are the main KYC strengths as a KYC service provider? Yes, basically, if you will look into different solutions available on the markets, probably every solution, offers somewhat the same technologies. In our case, all the KYC technologies are developed by ourselves, as well as facial verification, as well as document authenticity checks, as well as OCR data extraction. So, for example, if you will check the coverage of our countries and languages. So at the moment, we do cover 244 countries from the overall list of countries in the world, and our OCR technology is covering 150 plus different languages, which is a main strength for us now, as well as the very quick identity verification. Okay, so the next question relates to the KYC detect IP and device type. How does it work? Yes, actually, during each real-time verification process, if our customers are using this option, then we detect the real IP and real device type and name. So, for example, as well as the browser type, and actually we use digital fingerprinting technology in order to detect the real location of the customer, even not only the IP, but also longitude or other parameters, city, country, region, and so on and so forth. So it's automatically inserted to our verification page. So you do not need, as a customer, you do not need to integrate any other part of our solution. You just need to integrate our real-time verification method, and that's it. The next question, how Shufti Pro can assist business during the pandemic concerning work from home for employees. Um, of course, the our solution is fully digital. It means that it only requires the internet connectivity, and both the end users and our customers can access this solution remotely, digitally. So for the end user, they just need to follow the verification link. For the customer, they have an access to our back office. They have their login details. They can review all the results of all verifications that were done by their customers, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what other biometrics tests do you do? So actually, we do a 3D perception liveness check. We confirm that. So in order to confirm that the person is real, we're seeing if the person is blinking his eyes, if there are some movements in his head, and then we also have the skin texture analysis technology to confirm the reality, the aliveness of the person as well. Okay, so the next question, how much time does the document verification take, and how much it is efficient for real estate business? Um, I've also already answered this question previously. So document verification take between 10 to 20 seconds in average. So if you need to check only the document authenticity and to extract the information from the document, for example, first name, last name, date of birth, issue date, and the document number, then it will be the same 10 to 20 seconds. It's efficient for every business, and not only for real estate, so any other business. So we're working with different online banking, digital banking, healthcare, iGaming, and other customers, as well as crypto and other customers around the world. What sort of front end UI UX do you provide, app, and so on? So for the real-time verification, we provide the iframe. So basically, we will cover all the steps on our end. We will show the consent message. We will show the guidelines, how to perform a document verification, how to perform facial verification, and other type of verifications. And then, if it's needed, we can show a customer the final message, whether he was verified or declined, or we can hide this message, or we can customize this message. So, for example, if you would like to take some time for manual verification process as well, then actually you can log in into our back office and review the verification results and perform the verifications manually. We also have the opportunity to integrate our solution through the SDK for iOS and Android. So we have the basic API integration and so on. If you want to know more details, again, you can contact us by this email address on the screen. The next question, how Shufti Pro prevents money laundering? Please explain. So actually, we're directly integrated to 1,700 plus different watch lists with PEPs, sanctions, criminals, adverse media, trafficking, war crimes, relatives, and other types of AML. Basically, we are using the main data sources provider for us is Comply Advantage. So actually, you're just sending us the API request with three mandatory fields: first name, last name, and the date of birth, and we can perform the anti-money laundering check and provide you back with the result in the API response. Or again, you can go to our back office into our portal. You can perform AML screening manually. You can perform the revision of the anti-money laundering results, and so on. Next comment, I want to use API in my website. There is no problem with this. For the API integration, we have a very, very simple documentation, and the overall integration with us, if we're talking about the API, usually takes between 5 to 6 hours with all the tests. So it's very, very easy. We also provide the technical assistance. We also provide the automated code generator for 5 languages: PHP, Java, JavaScript, Ruby, Python, and so on. And actually, you can just select the needed services and insert pre-generated code to your website. So kind of easy. Okay. Any other questions, guys? We still have a few minutes to go. It seems like I have one question that was unanswered. Does the solution offer NFC capture as well as OCR? So at the moment, we offer only the OCR, optical characters recognition technology, with the support of 150 plus languages, but we do not offer the NFC capture, at least at the moment. Okay. Okay, the next question: how do you check at 100% all countries' ID cards within database or other way? Yes, so actually, as I already mentioned before, we are not cross-checking the ID card or other identity document numbers against the different databases. We do it by means of the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we confirm the accuracy of ID card, we confirm the format, we confirm different security features on the document, we check different forgery by using the micropixel technology, and so on. So we just confirm the accuracy of format, and then we can extract the text information automatically. So the next question: what are chargebacks and how Shufti Pro cater to it? Actually, we're not providing a transaction monitoring tool, and we do not provide some rule-based system or something like that in order to mitigate chargebacks and to monitor transactions. But actually, we provide the API for anti-money laundering services, so you can, before processing a transaction or transfer, you can check personal users' data, first name, last name, and the date of birth against the sanctions and other watch lists globally in order to confirm that, in order to prevent money laundering itself. I need to know the main idea and concept of KYC. Seems like I already covered these questions previously. The main idea is to automate all the processes by implementing the Shufti Pro facial, document, address, consent, and other types of verifications, and so on. If you have some particular question or request or requirement, then please email us to victor.joshua@shuftipro.com. And then basically we will respond to you and can provide you with the real-time demo of our product. The next question, what is the main concept on ICR? So it seems like it's a typo. So we do not have ICR, we have OCR. So OCR stands for Optical Characters Recognition. It means that our technology is trained on the different taxonomy dictionaries in different languages, as I said, 150 plus languages, and then we are automatically extracting the text data from the identity document and proof of address document automatically, just to minimize the overall turnover and to minimize the verification time and so on. Okay, how to use address verification API in PHP website. Also already covered this question. So actually you're using our API documentation, or you can go to our autocode generator link. If you already have the trial account or production environment account, then you're using our API keys and auto-generate the needed code in a PHP, and then you can just insert this code on your website. That's it. What are the measures taken by Shufti Pro to secure the data? So actually, we're not using the cloud servers. It's the fully private servers with the ISO 27001 certification. So we're fully compliant with all the security regulations and so on, and GDPR as well. So we basically make sure that personal users' data is being processed and stored according to those requirements. Okay, so the next question, does Shufti Pro involves two-factor authentication like Gmail or Facebook? Yes, we do have the service. So actually it's a simple OTP code that we can send to a customer's mobile phone. In order to integrate two-factor authentication, you just need to provide us with the customer's phone number and with the verification message and with the verification code. Basically, if customer is typing the verification code correctly, then we're sending you the accept and saying that customer is being verified. If not, then basically we decline customer verification. If you want to know more about two-factor or any other services, then you can mail us to the email on the screen. Any other question, guys? Let's see. Okay, so you have generated code, but don't know where to put the PHP code. Yes, of course, we can guide you. Please mail to the victor.com Joshua at Shufti Pro, victor.joshua@shuftipro.com, and we will provide you with the relevant guidelines. The next question. What is the latest feature or service introduced by Shufti Pro? So the latest one is the video KYC service with 3 options available, with the verification agents provided by Shufti Pro, with ability to use your own verification agents, and with ability to use our AI-based guidelines so customer can self-onboard. This basically is more applicable for traditional banks or online banks in order to comply with the BaFin regulations or other ones. The next question relate to KYC by detect IP, our application needs to use the real-time method only. Is it possible we can use the API to pass the IP address for verification? At the moment, we do not offer the detect IP as a service, since basically we are automatically detecting the IP address and other parameters. Meanwhile, the user is doing his verification. You will get all the details afterwards once the verification is done. But we're not offering the detect IP as a service, at least for now again. So we're more focusing on the identity verification and KYC process. The next question, could Shufti Pro prod KYC works in offline mode? Actually, it's real-time verification, and it's really requires an internet connectivity. So without this, unfortunately, verifications couldn't be performed because we need to exchange the information somehow. The next question, how Shufti Pro supports KYC and AML compliance? At the moment, we're compliant with the overall regulations in all countries around the world. So in some countries, we have, or jurisdictions, we have a particular approvals by regulators. So again, if you want to know more, please email us. Okay. The next question, how much time it take for address verification? Yes, actually, the address verification can take a bit longer, since we need to analyze a lot of text information on the document. So for proof of address document, it usually takes about 30 to 40 seconds to make this verification happen and to extract the full address from the document, issue date from the document, and the full name from the document as well. So it's always less than 1 minute. The next question, how Shufti on-site recognize blurry documents and request new one? Yes, actually, in order to make sure that customer is onboarded, or to increase the the acceptance rate, our technology is able to recognize blurry document. And if, for example, a customer uploads blurry document or shows it in front of camera, in real time, we recognize this automatically, and showing some soft decline message to a customer that the document is blurring and we cannot confirm and extract data from it. And we're given some basic instructions what to do for this customer in order to retake this verification once again. So we're allowing customer to come back to the previous step and provide with the opportunity to undergo the verification once again in order to get verified. The next question, how Shufti Pro prevents gambling? So again, we're not a fraud assessment or risk management tool or rule-based tool just to to implement some specific risk scenarios or some other basic rules to prevent the spending of some money more than, for example, you have a limit, I don't know, whether 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000, and so on. So actually, we're mainly focusing on the identity verification and anti-money laundering sphere rather than the gambling itself. Okay, how accurate is Shufti Pro concerning self-verification? Actually, while a person is doing both document and face verification, we're building some, let's say, a facial fingerprint in order to match those criteria, like the shape of eyes, the shape of nose, the shape of lips, the distance between those objects, and so on. And then actually we match this information with the face available on the identity document. So we match both, and if we see that there is a match at least more than 70%, then it's automated accept. And in any case, in order to perform the identity verification and facial verification more, let's say, efficiently, we're asking our users to remove glasses from the head. And actually, we are showing these guidelines during the verification process, so it's kind of obvious to the end user how to perform the facial verification correctly.
Is there something else?
Okay. The next question. AML sanction screening list, how is the coverage? Thank you for your question, James. Actually, the sanctions, PEPs, and other watch lists are, it's about 1,700 plus watch lists, and the main data sources provider for us is a Comply Advantage, which is a quite reliable data provider on the industry, well known. The next question. How do you verify customer's age from the document? Obviously, I've mentioned before that we're not using some databases, but we're just confirming the accuracy of the document, authenticity of the document, and extracting the customer's age with the OCR technology automatically. The next question, Shufti Pro verified address by customer CINIC. Can you rephrase your question, please? Didn't get it correctly. Next one, can you please brief down touchless eye verification? Yeah, so as I said, it's 3D perception technology with skin texture analysis technology, and actually customer just need to present his face in front of camera of his mobile phone or a PC as well, just to make sure that the person is alive and real, and then we confirm that the person, the face on the document is the same that is on the real-time selfie. Basically, another technology that we have is biometric authentication. It means that actually without password, your customers can log into their accounts. First, they need to undergo the identity verification procedure by presenting their documents in face in front of camera, and then we can match the same face while the user is logging in again to his account. It means that it's something the same that the Apple has for iPhones, like Face ID. So without a password, user can log in, but with his face. So it's another technology that we can offer for touchless eye verification. The next question, do you really think that Shufti Pro can really help to reduce identity scams and chargeback frauds? Actually, yes, because if you're using at least a document verification with facial verification, you can make sure that this is the real person, because otherwise it could be synthetic identities with forged documents and so on. And while you're using a manual verification team, the overall percentage of frauds and scams and chargebacks are real higher, because with the automated AI and machine learning technologies, you can get more reliable identity verification service. Without this, unfortunately, you still have some space for identity scams. Okay. The next question. How Shufti Pro verified customer address using their national identity card? Uh, Actually, we do have the ability to extract the full address from the identity card as well. In some countries, it is placed on the backside of the document, so where it's possible to customize the whole verification journey and ask your customer to provide the backside proof of the document where the address is present. And actually, we verify this address by using the overall AI technology to confirm the accuracy of format and then the OCR for the address extraction from the document. But we're not automatically cross-checking the address, as I already said, through the government databases or something like this. Okay, so basically, we're coming already came to an end of today's webinar. I believe we can continue with your questions and our answers through the email. Probably the last question, how many languages and countries we support? It's 244 countries and 150 plus languages. It's the widest coverage on the market right now. For more questions, please, guys, use the email on the screen, victor.joshua@shuftipro.com, or you can email directly to me by email, christina@shuftipro.com. I will leave this email address here in a chat box so you can copy and paste it. Thank you guys for joining today's webinar. It was a real pleasure, and I'm hoping to get your more questions from you via email, and subscribe to our LinkedIn and to our Facebook, and we will have more webinars coming on. So thank you again. Have a good day. And the end of the year as well. Stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.